Good evening. I'm Bob Watts, President of the Seaboard Region of the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs.
And I'm Eric Beezer, First Vice President of the Seaboard Region. Thank you for joining us in the 30th Blue Yarmulke Award celebration to recognize our most valuable players. This is still the 2020 award celebration, as we were poised to recognize these people in the spring when we were forced to cancel our events. And we understand that if we were ever to recognize the wonderful group, it had to be online. We have tried to recreate the experience, and the upside is that the first time we have been able to bring together people from the corners of the region, from Owings Mills, Maryland to Norfolk, Virginia, with a record total of 22 honorees in the event.
Thank you, Eric. The FJMC is the umbrella organization for about 250 men's clubs and brotherhoods serving 25,000 men around the globe. While concentrated in North America, we have clubs in Latin America, India, and even Uganda, which we'll be talking about more later. The FJMC's mission is to involve Jewish men in Jewish life. However, the influence of the FJMC's programs has been felt worldwide through programs such as the Yom HaShoah Yellow Candles and the Worldwide Wrap, which involve the entire Jewish community. We're also continuing our efforts with Hearing Men's Voices and other programs, such as the mindfulness services and the mental health initiative entitled Imagine Life. These programs and others have been translated into virtual activities that are thriving, about which you will hear more later from incoming FJMC International President Alan Cahan.
Regions are a key link. They bring information about FJMC programs for clubs while making the FJMC leadership aware of the project's successes and needs. Through donations by supporters such as you, our region provides subsidies for those who might otherwise not be able to go to conventions, provides support for the biennial region retreats, and support for the Abu Yudayan community in Uganda.
In the past year, we put on well-attended regional virtual events to replace the canceled June retreat. We try to keep clubs in touch with each other through our regional leadership meetings and updates on individual club activities. Seaboard, through Eric's efforts, put on the virtual FJMC-wide Worldwide Wrap events attended by several hundred people.
The FJMC is only as strong as its clubs, and the purpose of the club involvement with the FJMC is not to serve the greater organization, but for the FJMC to serve the clubs, to provide programming, connections, and ruach to help clubs thrive. Many of the best FJMC-wide programs began as clubs in the clubs. Clubs are made of individuals working together for their community, and tonight we honor these individuals who have stood out in their services. We are also honoring those who have given much of their lifetimes in service to their clubs, the region, and the FJMC. You will hear much more about these people during the evening.
I'll turn it over to Eric to MC the honors and awards part of the program, but I want to thank Alan Cahan and Rabbi Grunberg and Hazan Randy Herman, both good friends of the FJMC, for joining us. This has been an effort of many led by Eric, including regional officers and advisors, clubs, and Eric's committee. And I want to thank all of you who joined us tonight, who supported their honorees and the regions through their tributes and through donating their payments for the brunches that were canceled.
Cantor Randy Herman is the cantor of Chizuk Emunah congregation, and many people remember him when he took part in the Cantors concert at the FJMC convention in 2013. He became the Chazan of Chizuk Emunah in early 2020 as the pandemic hit and everything shut down. His voice is strong and spiritually perfect. Please rise if you are able as Cantor Herman sings the Star Spangled Banner and Hatikva.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave a proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Kolod balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulfate mizrach kadima ein letzion tzofia od lovda tikvateinu hatigva bat shnot alpayim להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Rabbi Joshua Gruenberg is the senior rabbi at the Chizuk Emunah congregation. One of our club's best programs has been Men Meet in Midrash, and we look forward to these programs to learn from Rabbi Gruenberg. He's an excellent teacher and leader. Let's welcome Josh as we hear his Devar Torah.
Okay. Hello. Thank you, Eric. This is such a wonderful opportunity. My video would suggest that I am coming to you from the Chizuk Emunah sanctuary, but we know that life in the global pandemic and life on Zoom allows us to do things like this and imagine that we are anywhere in the world. I'm so excited to join you this evening. As many of you know, the Federation of Jewish Men's Club is very close to my heart. For many years, FJMC has done wonderful, wonderful things for our extended community. I want to share with you some thoughts about the narrative section that we are in the midst of in our Torah reading. We are in the midst of a long series of explanations and descriptions of the building of the tabernacle. We go into so much detail. You could even be tempted to say boring detail of how exactly the tabernacle is to be built, everything that goes in. You could almost ask, why, Rabbi, do we need to see these things? Well, perhaps the hint is in the phrase that literally encapsulates the theme for the entire project. And the phrase is, Kol asher nediv libo, all those who are generous of heart. As the Jewish people embark on this huge project, there is only one rule: the generous of heart may participate. No prerequisites, no conditions, just a generous heart. We gather together tonight to honor people who embody a generous heart, people willing to give of their time and their effort for the greater good, for the betterment of the Jewish community. On a personal note, I want to extend a mazel tov to my friend and congregant Gary Brager, who is so incredibly deserving of this honor this evening. Gary, you model for all of us what it means to have a generous heart. So mazal tov to all of the honorees. Thank you for all that you do, and may we continue to go from strength to strength.
Hello, my name is Alan Cahan, nominee for the International President of the FJMC, Federation of Jewish Men's Club. And for those of you participating in this Blue Yarmulke program, a former regional president of the Seaboard region. The FJMC's mission is to involve Jewish men in Jewish life. And during this pandemic, the FJMC, like the Seaboard region, has reinvented itself. This virtual Blue Yarmulke event is a first for the Seaboard region, but such virtual events are being done throughout the FJMC world. I would hope that you'll check out and participate in our other virtual events. We do webinars and virtual affinity groups, whether your interest is cooking, sports, genealogy, Yiddish, investing, photography, or numerous other areas of interest. Check out the FJMC website at www.fjmc.org, where you'll not only find a schedule of webinars and affinity groups which are coming up, but be able to view the recordings of many past sessions. The men and women being honored at this event are truly worthy of honor and recognition. And it's still not too late for each of you to become involved or more involved with your club, the Seaboard region, or the FJMC. I know that such involvement has enriched my life and that of my family. If you'd like to explore such involvement, you can reach out to me at akahan@fjmc.org. Now, there is an event coming up for which I have a very personal ask for those of you who are men's club members. On June 6th through 13th, the FJMC will be having its first virtual convention, as this pandemic not only affected this Blue Yarmulke event, but organizational events throughout the United States. And while a virtual convention can't provide you the same experience as an in-person one, you'll be able to get a taste of what makes this biannual event so exciting for men's club members throughout North America and the world. President Bob Watts will be keeping you informed of the events of Convention 21, and there will be something each day of the convention which you'll likely want to participate in, so register. Finally, Mazel Tov and Yasher Koach to all the honorees, and thank you for inviting me to the Seaboard Region Blue Yarmulke program for 2021.
What is the Blue Yarmulke program? Our honorees have devoted incredible time and energy serving their clubs and communities. We reserve these occasions to celebrate their achievements and to thank them. What better way to say thank you than to be there to witness their honor and to celebrate with them? Many of our honorees got motivated to serve their communities by attending an earlier Blue Yarmulke event. This honor helps serve as a motivation to contribute. We call this the cycle of service and celebration. May it continue forever. Our first group of honorees are from Agudas Achim, Josh Kraushar and Amir Tabone.
For 3 years, Amir was part of the Agudas Achim community and taught us to understand and appreciate the complex story of the state of Israel and the story of her people. He taught us to see the many tribes that make up Israeli society and how the story of these tribes is a necessary component to bridging the gap between Israel and the American community. Amir's unbiased and nuanced articulation of Israel's political landscape opened the minds and hearts of our men's club and the Agudas community. Amir Tibon is also an award-winning journalist, currently serving as assignments and U.S. news editor for Aretz, and previously its Washington correspondent. It is an honor to call Amir one of our Blue Yarmulke Men of the Year. Josh Krausauer. We live in an age where it's inescapable that the human difference has become an impediment rather than the prompt for dialogue and reconciliation. Our society has become akin to a gladiator's arena, with everybody pointing out the missteps of others, but nobody taking agency for their role in the debacle, the unraveling of our social fabric. Throughout an impactful and pivotal weekend, our own Josh Krausauer taught us to explore this challenge in ways that taught us to listen with curiosity and reevaluate our assumptions. Josh not only brought great credit to our men's club, but to our entire community. Josh is also the political editor of National Journal, where he pens the biweekly Against the Grain column. Josh also hosts a weekly podcast featuring interviews with leading political professionals and is a frequent analyst on television and radio discussing the political news of the day. It is an honor to call Josh one of our Blue Yarmulke Men of the Year.
Thank you so much for this great honor. First of all, it's an opportunity to say hello to friends that we miss very much at Agudas Achim in Alexandria. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to be reminded of so many good moments that we had during our 3 years with Agudas when Miri, my wife, was the shlicha. And for me, one of the moments that I cherished the most was working together with Josh on these weekend education programs that we did together, talking about Israeli politics, American politics, the intersection between them. I learned a lot just from listening to Josh, speaking with him, building this, having the opportunity to present it to the community. And to end it like this with this award is really an honor and a cause for great joy. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Toda Rabah. It's a real honor to get the Blue Yarmulke Award. Thank you to Rabbi Reen, to the entire Agudas Achim Men's Club staff, and most of all to Amir, we didn't just partner on the capstone, the weekend-long conversation about tribalism, but in several other events, other conversations we had with the Agudas Achim community to talk about all the big political issues affecting America and Israel. It was a real treat, and these issues are as relevant and urgent as ever, especially the issue of tribalism that we devoted an entire Shabbat weekend to just over a year ago. So I thank you again for the award. I look forward perhaps to seeing Amir in Israel soon, and looking to see everyone in person, hopefully for the next Blue Yarmulke Awards ceremony next year.
From Bethel of Baltimore, Jack Boonshaft.
Ask any active member of Baltimore's Bethel congregation, and they will agree that Jack Boonshaft is the obvious choice for the Blue Yarmulke Award. First, he looks good in blue. Second, Jack has been a constant presence and contributor to the Bethel Men's Club. When Jack and his family joined our synagogue, he set out to reinvigorate the men's club. And to no one's surprise, he succeeded and soon became our president. No one called for a recount. After Jack's term as president, he agreed to serve on the board to ensure continuity and to help plan events. Jack is the first one to attend those events, and he is the last to leave, often because he can't find his car. If it's a sukkah in need of being built for the synagogue, or food in need of being delivered to a homeless shelter, whether it's a tailgating event, a happy hour, or a Purim carnival in need of planning and organizing, no one works harder than Jack. Our club's success is attributable to Jack's contributions and sacrifices, as well as his proficiency with a cordless drill. Not only are Jack's contributions immediate, but they are long-lasting. To our members and to Jack's own family and friends, Jack has served as a great role model, instilling in all of us the importance of being an active and engaged part of our community. Congratulations, Jack. Don't call me Zach Boonshaft, for being recognized for all that you do.
Thank you, Steve. Well, you stole some of my introduction of sort of my speech, but I started the club with Rabbi Schwartz's blessing, and over the years, The past 8 years, I have been either president or co-president 3 times. I have been membership chairman 4 times and always on the lookout for new members. And as Steve said, a volunteer whenever asked. For the future, one of the questions was, what do I recommend for the club? Number one, I think we probably all have a problem getting 40 and 50-year-old congregants into our men's club. This is something that would help strengthen our club immensely. Number two, I would recommend that, particularly at Bethel, we make monetary contributions to the synagogue, especially in light of what's occurred this year. But I think that's part of our responsibility, is to help support the congregation. We've tremendously diversified our programming this year, and I would say to go to the next step for the coming year. You alluded to the yarmulke, and I would show you this 30-year-old yarmulke that my mother knitted for her granddaughter. 30 years I've worn that. This is the Bethel Men's Club yarmulke that the members have worn for the past 7 years. And this is the yarmulke that only I will wear. And I thank you. It's fabulous, as is the plaque. They both reek with quality, and I'm honored to receive them. Thank you.
From Bethel of Montgomery County, Sheila Bellack.
The Men's Club of Bethel of Montgomery County is proud to honor Sheila Bellack with this year's Blue Yarmulke Award. Sheila retired last summer at the beginning of the pandemic after 20 years as the executive director of our congregation, and after a long career of service to the Jewish community, both in the Washington area and around the country. Sheila is always helpful, a font of knowledge, the primary source of all institutional memory, and a consummate problem solver. We at Bethel will miss her. We wish her a mazel tov on this award. And now, a few short words from our senior rabbi, Greg Harris.
Sheila, I want to say congratulations on behalf of the entire staff and leadership at Bethel for this award of the Blue Yarmulke Award. It's a well-deserved recognition. You and I have gone to so many of these award ceremonies before, enjoyed the mini hot dogs and the elaborate desserts, and now it's your turn. I'm sorry that we can't be together for this, but thank you for all of your years of work as our executive director at Congregation Bethel.
From Bethel of Norfolk, Bill Nosen.
Good evening. My name is Howard Horowitz, president of the Men's Club, Congregation Bethel in Norfolk, Virginia. It is my great honor to introduce our 2020 Blue Yarmulke honoree, William Bill Nosen. Bill was born in Long Island roughly 48 years ago, led prayers at a very young age, and was later inspired and superbly trained in liturgical singing, the success of which is evident whenever Bill graces us with his davening. Although he is an attorney today and started in New Jersey, we have forgiven him because he was wise enough to follow his heart and marry his beautiful and inspiring wife, Jo, and move to Virginia Beach, where Jo's family resides, and raise their 2 children. At Norfolk Bethel, Bill teaches Sunday school, is a Men's Club board member, conducts worldwide rap, raises money through our bingo fundraiser, assists in our Tides baseball outing, and leads services at Beth Shalom Village. It is my great honor to welcome a true mensch, William Bill Nosen, into the pantheon of our Blue Yarmulke honorees.
Thank you, Howard. I want to thank the Men's Club of Bethel and the Federation of Jewish Men's Club for bestowing me upon this honor, this plaque, and the Blue Yarmulke that I'm wearing tonight. At Men's Club, we bring smiles to people's faces, whether it's bingo, whether it's the baseball game, a Tides baseball game, Friday night services at Beth Shalom Village, and most importantly to my heart, Camp Ramah, because we help generate scholarship opportunities for kids to go to Ramah and cultivate their Jewish identity. And if you ever spend time there, especially on a Shabbos, you'll see smiles from ear to ear and ruach, their spirit, their Jewish identity being cultivated. I want to thank everyone for this honor, especially my family, for giving me the opportunity and the time to devote to Men's Club and this very worthwhile endeavor. Thank you.
From Beth Emeth, Eric.
Hello, I'm Paul Schrager, immediate past president of Congregation Beth Emet Men's Club. A Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year has been a long-time member of the synagogue. His children went through our religious school and were B'nai Mitzvah. He assisted in numerous men's club and synagogue events in the past. However, what has made him the honoree for 2020 was his desire to assist Congregation Beth Emet in standing up our new multi-tier security upgrade. With his help on his own time and money, CBE was able to install multiple avenues to Fairfax County Police as well as other security personnel. Additionally, with the Temple of Life Synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh still fresh in our minds, he was able to set up active shooter training for all congregants who wanted to participate. These advances will be felt for years within our synagogue. I am proud to submit our Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year 2020 honoree.
I'm glad that I had the opportunity to participate in something that was so momentous to CBE, the ability to leave a legacy behind with regard to the EAP that we've developed, as well as the ASR system that we installed. We feel that this is a solution that all organizations in the DC area that can use to their advantage to protect themselves and their congregants and their members from acts of harm coming to them. And again, thank you very much for the honor, and you guys have a good year.
At this point in our program, I'd like to turn to the Lifetime Achievement Award and to introduce that award and to speak about it and to present the awards to the honoree. I'd like to introduce our past Seaboard members who have been presidents of the FJMC International, Mark Berlin and Danny Stern. So I will spotlight them.
Okay, thanks, Bob. 3 years ago, Seaboard became the first region to recognize our past leaders in a Lifetime Achievement Society for their work in their clubs, the region, the international, their synagogues, and their communities. This year, we have 5 new inductees. The first is Max Goldberg. Max died in 2018 at the age of 98, and he had a life filled with service. He was president of the Adas Israel Men's Club and went on to become the Seaboard and international presidents. More than that, he became the mentor and advisor to future leaders. Max also served as congregational president from 1979 to 83. I can't think of a man more worthy of inclusion in the Lifetime Achievement Society. The next honoree is Danny Stern. I've worked with Danny recently as co-chairs of this Lifetime Achievement Society committee, but I've known him for 35 years when we were both Seaboard officers. Danny became Brotherhood president of Beth Israel in 1983 and rose to the regional presidency in 1989. The first Blue Yarmulke dinner was during his administration. Danny became international president of the FJMC in 2003 and remains active in Brotherhood, Synagogue, and the FJMC.
Want me to say a few words? Okay. Well, thank you. I got my my plaque the other day. It's beautiful, and I'm sure you all got yours as well. And this was a great honor. I thought when Mark and I became co-chairs, I thought it probably was not inappropriate for us to honor each other, but he pulled me and he put my name in. But we'll return it to him in the near future because I think he's deserving as well. So it's a great honor. I'm very proud to have received this. Thank you. When I became involved with the Seaboard region, it was very different than it is today. First of all, it was Baltimore, Washington. We used to have regular meetings. We'd meet at synagogues. We'd meet at the homes of officers when we'd have executive meetings. And Tidewater was not really involved. Tidewater always had a vice president. We always assigned one of the vice president slots to Tidewater because they were so far removed and they didn't attend, for the most part, these meetings. That changed when we decided to name Norm Sirocco as regional president. And that worked out really well. And so since that time, we've opened it up so that people in the Tidewater area can be involved the same as everybody else. Well, what happened is Bill, became involved, and he was doing very, very well as a regional president and was recognized at the FJMC level. So he was elevated to the executive committee, and he served as a vice president in that capacity, and he chaired one of our conventions. So it's worked out really well for the Seaboard region in opening up the Tidewater area to get their men of quality involved with the region and with the FJMC. And we were very proud to have selected Bill for this award.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. I would like to thank the Seaboard region for this honor. It has been both a privilege and an honor to serve the Seaboard region in various different roles. We have a wonderful group of guys in Seaboard, and they are both very dedicated and selfless in their service to the region. That is what makes the Seaboard region the best in the FJMC. The highlight of my service in Seaboard and the FJMC was when I served as the convention chair of the 2017 International FJMC Convention in Washington. That was the first time our region was able to host a convention. We had many of our guys serving in various different roles to make the convention the most successful in the history of the FJMC. I want to especially thank our local chairs, Mark Berlin and Hal Freed, for working hard to make the convention a very special event. Once again, thank you to the Seaboard region.
Our second group of honorees are from B'nai Israel, Alan Eisenberg.
Alan Eisenberg is vital to the success of our men's club and the success that it's had over the last few years. He's a leader on our board and supports our program with his time and energy, all the while shying away from accolades. He works hard to prepare foods for our breakfast and dinner programs, even though he insists that he is not a member of our food committee. And then he personally takes the leftovers to a homeless shelter. He sees that the recyclables from the dinner are properly disposed of, even if that means taking them home to his recycle bin at his house. He teaches us about ancestry and teaches our Talmud Torah students about tefillin. There's a lot more that I can say about Alan and why he's so important to our club and our synagogue. He is so deserving of this honor. So on behalf of the Men's Club of B'nai Israel in Rockville, Maryland, it's my pleasure to introduce Alan Eisenberg as our Blue Yarmulke Man of the Year honoree. Your turn, Alan.
Where's the food? Oh, the food committee. Call Jeff Fredman. Is he ready?
I think you're being recorded now.
Oh, that's not good. Thank you, Wayne. About 24 years ago, my wife Lisa and I joined the B'nai Israel congregation. However, my schedule didn't really allow me to participate in many of the activities and programs. Then I retired, and the complete B'nai Israel program guide became a treasure trove of activities. The Men's Club offered a speaker series, participation in Mitzvah Day, the Worldwide Wrap, Jews and Brews, Hearings Men Voices, and many other excellent programs. It also offered a wonderful group of men to share friendship with. I've learned that gratitude and humility are values that go hand in hand. With both of those emotions, I want to say thank you to the Men's Club of B'nai Israel for honoring me with the 2020 Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year Award. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, B'nai Israel.
B'nai Shalom of Olney, Andy Schumann.
The Men's Club of B'nai Shalom of Olney, or BSO, has selected Andy Schumann as its Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year for many reasons. One, he leads the BSO holiday fundraisers, getting congregants apples and honey in the fall and Purim bags in the spring, such as he did today. In normal times, he keeps the BSO building running by repairing or having repairs made, helping to manage the custodians. He's often busy at the synagogue, such as with an errant alarm or something like that. Anyway, Andy is also a stalwart Men's Club member. The Men's Club has benefited from his energy, whether it's erecting or taking down the sukkah, cooking lunch for Purim Carnival, or helping to make a Men's Club Shabbat. He has great energy, does the work of 2 or 3 guys. We greatly appreciate him. Andy, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's an incredible honor to be chosen and selected. I basically just try to help out any way I can. I enjoy helping out. And thankfully, we have a lot of people in the synagogue that also help out, a lot of great lay leaders and good board, and we all kind of work together and try to make things work. So I'm always happy to help out, and thank you very much for the honor. Got my nice little plaque. It's up on my wall, but I had to take it down to show you. But thank you very much. It really is a lot of teamwork around here, and we couldn't do it by ourselves, and thank you very much.
From Beth Israel, Henry Foxman.
So this is Howard Bernheim, president of Beth Israel Brotherhood in Owings Mills, Maryland, and I'm very honored to introduce Henry Foxman as our 2020 Blue Yarmulke Man of the Year. So I probably have known Henry longer than anybody else in the congregation at Beth Israel, since he was my 9th grade social studies teacher at Old Court Junior Senior High School. Was the first year that Old Court was opened. I'll never forget Henry. He was one of the best teachers I ever had, and I'm not just saying that because he's on the video right now. But Henry has been a loyal member of Beth Israel Brotherhood for many, many years. This is my 4th stint as president, and he's always been there to serve on the board. He always has been there as a loyal member of our kitchen committee. And Henry, for many years, was the chairperson of the Beth Israel High Holidays Seating Committee. So it's a well-deserved honor, and I'm very, very honored to once again introduce Henry as our 2020 Blue Yarmulke Man of the Year.
Thank you. To be honored amongst all the men that belong to the Brotherhood and all the work that the men of the Brotherhood does is really a great honor. You work for the Brotherhood, not for the honor. You work for the Brotherhood because the Brotherhood works for the shul, and that's very important. Plus, the Brotherhood is a great group of friends. They work together. As a matter of fact, some of us actually have come together on a weekly basis to have lunch. And it was the Brotherhood that brought us together. And it's not only friendship, but it's also support. And when you do something with a group of people that you know have a positive ending that works to make the Brotherhood better, the Brotherhood works for the shul, and at the end, everybody comes together for a great purpose. And I thank the Brotherhood for this honor that they have given me.
From Chizuk Amuna, Gary Brager.
It's my privilege as president of the Chizuk Amuna Brotherhood to introduce our 2020 Blue Yarmulke MVP Award winner, Gary Brager. Gary has been involved with Chizuk Amuna Brotherhood for the past 40 years since he and Evelyn became members of Chizuk Amuna congregation, and he's been involved with every aspect of our club. He worked on a men's issues series, including services, breakfast, and sessions related to men's health, relationships, and general welfare. He's chaired our Worldwide Rap participation since Worldwide Rap's inception. And he co-chaired our annual Ravens football tailgate party for 7 years. Ravens fans are happy that we no longer do that because they lost all 7 games. He served for 2 years as our second vice president, first vice president, and president. And he continues to serve the Chizuk Amuna Brotherhood as our recording secretary for the past several years. And he's also our resident Brotherhood sports trivia expert. I've known Gary for a few years since Pearl and I joined Chizuk Amuna. I can tell you that this honor is well deserved and long overdue, and it is my privilege to be able to present it to him.
I thank the Brotherhood, and I'm very grateful for this award, and I accept it with gratitude. The Brotherhood has given me a niche, as it has all the men, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of the 40 years, and I hope another 40 years. And it's a great organization, a brotherhood, not just a men's club. We are a brotherhood. So I thank our president and the other officers and the members who voted this award for me. Thank you.
From Temple, Israel, Jim Gordon.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce Jim Gordon. Jim is the Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year from Temple, Israel in Norfolk, Virginia. I've known Jim for many years. He is one of those special folks who draws people to him. He has natural leadership abilities, an easygoing manner, and a great sense of humor. As a young man, Jim was in the Navy and learned to defuse bombs. This was the perfect setting to develop the can-do attitude and steady nerves needed for Temple leadership. And sure enough, Jim was the president of a congregation in Virginia Beach, and he has headed up men's clubs in 2 locations. We at Temple Israel can always count on Jim to say yes whenever there is a project to be done. Jim's activities extend beyond the synagogue. He has leadership roles in numerous sports groups and social clubs. A boat captain, real estate agent, jewelry designer. These are among Jim's other accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, I give you Temple Israel's many talented Person of the Year, Jim Gordon.
Thanks, Bob, for that gracious introduction. You know, Bob's family and mine go back 40 years, so there was no question in my mind who would I ask to introduce me. Let me start off by saying what an honor it is to be selected as Temple Israel's Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year. It's very special to me that I was selected by my peers. That makes it seem so much more meaningful. So thanks to all of you that supported me as the current men's club president by their participation in all our events, and to all those that nominated me for this special honor. I joined an FJMC men's club when my family and I returned to Virginia Beach near the end of my Navy career. It was a way to make new friends in the synagogue community. I really enjoyed the Sunday brunches that we prepared together in the kitchen. It was a team effort, and all the while we were telling stories and sharing news of the past week's events. That was the highlight. The tasty scrambled eggs with onions, the bagels, cream cheese, lox, and more onions were also a treat. So once again, thanks again for this special award. Thanks to Bob Watts, our Seaboard president, for keeping us always informed of the available opportunities during this trying time and when live gatherings are not feasible. Kol Kavad, we are FGMC strong.
From Olam Tekva, Mark Weber.
Welcome to Seaboard Region FJMC 2021 from 2020. So I'm glad to introduce Mark Weber as the Olam Tikva winner. He's been a fantastic help to the synagogue, to OT in general, and to the men's club especially. He's been a member since 1995. He's been actually on the OT board. He has bought food for the men's club for years. He has bought food for Sisterhood. He has bought food for Olam Tikva and their main events. He has been called on for audio visual help for year after year. He's also been a bartender at events for Sisterhood, men's club, and for OT. He's helped in the kitchen for OT, Sisterhood, and occasionally for men's club. He is known as the cookie man on Shabbat. He has also been a gabbai, and he has led minyan services at OT and has also led Shiva minyan. He has also been a mentor to many a young person and an older guy at OT. So take it away, Mark.
Thanks, Marv. And also thank you to Jordan and Bob, previous presidents of OT's Men's Club. And certainly thanks to the FJMC for this honor. But first of all, I have to thank my wife, Debbie, who bought into this volunteering thing. She deserves a lot of credit for being a big advocate of helping and being a part of the Jewish community since we moved to Virginia. You know, some people lead by being out front, but I believe we lead by taking everyone with us. Be inclusive. People love to help if they feel like they're valued and given the trust of those needing the help. Everybody wins in building a community like that. OT's Men's Club is great in building community. And I'm really enjoying this keep-off. So thank you all.
Lalu ada adonan Elohim milik orang asing kesan dar Ivan Aldi Nese Shabbat. Amen.
Good evening. My name is David Fryman, past president of the Shari Torah Men's Club, current Shari Torah Synagogue president, and 2016 Blue Yarmulke awardee. Please forgive the headset, as this is the only way I can get good audio on my laptop. The preceding video is of Davin Mualani, son of my friend Sam, leading his family in the Shabbat candlelighting. Though at a low volume, I'm not sure how much of that you'll be able to hear. During the pandemic and the hardships I'll describe, young Davin is keeping our traditions alive in East Africa. Like some of you, I was introduced to the Abba Yudaya at the 2015 FJMC convention in Miami Beach. The Abba Yudaya is the Jewish community of East Africa, centered around the small city of Mbale, Uganda, stretching into Kenya. Seaboard sponsored Aaron Moses to join the 2015 convention. Aaron was the director of the Hadassah Primary School, the brother of Rabbi Gershom, the spiritual leader of the Abba Yudaya, and the first president of the Abba Yudaya Men's Club. Aaron and I became fast friends. I fondly remember the hilarious conversation where he explained to all of us the fun and, shall we say, interesting things he saw on a walk down South Beach. At the Miami convention, Aaron told us of the planned 2019 centennial celebration that would celebrate 100 years of Jewish presence in Uganda, a presence that survived British colonial pressures and persecution from Idi Amin. I made a commitment then and there. If I was ever going to visit Africa, it would be in 2019 in Mbale, Uganda, so I could be part of this celebration. Fast forward 2 years to the 2017 FJMC convention in Crystal City, Virginia. Ahead of this convention, Aaron traveled around the region, staying as a guest with many of our Seaboard families. He spent several days at my house. Together we toured the White House, the Capitol building, the Aaron Space Museum, and the Newseum. Some of the Shari Torah guys introduced Aaron to s'mores, as he recalled to us being followed home from school once by a gorilla when he was a child. Through Aaron, Seaboard led the FJMC in supporting the Abba Yudaya. We sold thousands of their handmade kapot that many of us wear proudly. We sold these kapot to raise money for the Hadassah Primary School, a boarding school located near the Abba Yudaya Central Synagogue in Nabagoya Hill. About half of the school's several hundred students are Jewish, and the other half of the school is made of local Muslim and Christian children. These students all study and live together, and they play together on the dirt fields of the school as a true example of what the three faiths can accomplish when we work together. In 2019, I made good on my commitment to attend the 100-year celebration in Mbale, and I was not disappointed. Overlaying my words now are pictures from the celebration weekend, including my visit to a Hadassah Primary School music class, a picture of Aaron in front of the school library, and a picture of me with Alan Zalaba, the current Abba Udaya Men's Club president. I made quick friends with so many Abba Udaya. I got to eat their food, attempt to pray in Luganda, their local language, and to travel with a few of them throughout the region. Mwanga, a young man I befriended through Facebook ahead of my trip, shared dinner with Aaron, his wife Naomi, and me at the hotel. Aaron and I visited Sippy Falls, the tallest waterfall in the area. Sam, another young man I met through Facebook, toured me around the local public school, and then came with Shadrach, my tour guide for the day, and me on a boat ride to explore the spot where the Nile River emerges from Lake Victoria. The view from the synagogue on Nabogoya Hill just isn't fair. Our sanctuary at Shari Torah overlooks a soccer field. When they daydream during services, the Abba Udaya get to stare off at Wanale Hill. At the centennial celebration, the Abba Udaya turned out in droves for a festive celebration filled with music, dancing, learning, and smiles. The truth is that for all the amazing advances the Abba Udaya have made in their Jewish journey, until the conservative movement embraced them about 15 years ago, they operated largely outside of mainstream Judaism. They remain to this day a subsistence people, meaning they grow and eat their own food. There's very little income from outside the community, and this leads to food, education, and healthcare insecurity. In 2020, disaster struck the Abba Udaya when coronavirus arrived in Uganda. The disease and the shutdown hit Uganda and the rural Abba Udaya community very hard. Their food and medical insecurities were realized. Then they were forced to close their schools. Without the Zoom option that we definitely take for granted in the US, their children have been without formal education for nearly a year. The adults have been mostly unable to work. Without savings or access to work, life for the Abba Udaya has turned critical. Government handouts, when they're received, and contributions from Jewish organizations throughout the world have helped to keep the Abba Udaya alive, but they remain in a perilous position. News reports show people in the Mbale region turning to rodents for protein. FJMC under Seaboard leadership has raised thousands of dollars for the Abba Udaya throughout shutdown, but it's not enough. Not nearly enough. Just when the community was stretched to the breaking point, another disaster struck. Aaron Moses, the founding president of the Abba Udaya Men's Club, director of the Hadassah Primary School, and our friend, passed away in October 2020 from a non-COVID related infection. Earlier that week, Aaron was distributing money that we sent to the community, and by the end of the week, he was gone. Not just a community leader, Aaron was the lead fundraiser for the community. He had contacts throughout the world he could tap from time to time to support the school, its students, and the Jewish population. A huge vacuum exists where Aaron once stood. Until coronavirus restrictions are lifted and the community can get back to work, Jewish organizations like the FJMC must stand up and fight for the survival of the Abba Udaya community. And during the time of COVID, this means sending money. Though we do not proclaim to be aid workers, we nonetheless need to band together to raise thousands of dollars to support the school so it can reopen safely, to educate and feed its students, and to pay its teachers. We need to raise thousands so that no Jew is forced to hunt rats and mice to feed his family. I'm a synagogue president, so I ask people for money all the time. Today, I'm not asking you to donate a few bucks to help your school put on a program. I'm not asking you to buy supplies for your religious school. I'm asking for a larger commitment. In generations past, many of our families were helped by unknown Jews opening their wallets to support them through organizations like HIAS and the Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. I'm asking you to follow in the tradition of standing up for our Jewish brethren and making sure they have food to eat, and for the children an education during the economic standstill. I'm asking that if for normal appeals you donate $36, to consider a donation of $100, $200, or even $500. $50 can feed an Abba Udaya family for a month. $600 can feed a family for a year. $100 can educate and feed an Abba Udaya child for a semester. The need is bigger than what Seaboard can raise, But though we cannot solve this problem ourselves, we are not free from the obligation of fighting as best we can on behalf of Jews that cannot win this fight on their own. But make no mistake, they're fighting. And what are we if we don't fight alongside with them? Please join me in this fight. Bob Watts, Dan Moldover, Eric Beezer, and I personally oversee the distribution in direct support of the Hadassah Primary School and the individual families of the Jewish community in Uganda. Please let me know if you want to step up in this fight. Before I close, I want to take a moment to congratulate all the Blue Yarmulke Award winners, especially Jeff Withnell from Shari Torah. You and past winners are a shining example of what we could all be if we commit to the Jewish community and to the Jewish people. Mazel tov.
The song Olam Chesed Yivaneh reminds us that we must build this world from love. We have expressed our love of our honorees and our compassion for our brothers in Uganda. Here is cantor Randy Herman singing Olam Chesed Yivaneh.
Chesed yibaneh, yadadai, 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 olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. You must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yadarai, yadai, yadarai. Olam chesed yibane. Oh, 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 oh. Olam chesed yibane. Olam chesed yibane. Olam chesed yibane. Yadarai, rai, rai, yadadada. Olam chesed yibane. Yadarai, yadai, yadadai.
Every once in a while, you find someone who's been a leader in 2 men's clubs. But Bernie Rod has been a leader in 3, Bethel and Bethesda, Har Shalom, and B'nai Israel. And he was president of both the Bethel and B'nai Israel clubs. This is a testament to his leadership ability and his ability to acquire friendships with ease. And I'm proud to count myself as one of his friends. He is certainly a worthy inductee into the Lifetime Achievement Society.
Okay, thank you, Mark. For over 30 years, I've been involved in the men's clubs of 3 conservative synagogues in the immediate Montgomery County area, Har Shalom, Bethel, and B'nai Israel. At 2 of these, I had the privilege to serve as the president of the club. I've always been impressed with how the FJMC has actively worked to help our clubs to grow and to suggest new and exciting programs to offer our members. I've had the opportunity over these many years to assist with many of these programs in my men's club and to work directly with the leadership of the FJMC. As club president, I hosted a number of its academic contests, which served as a great way to bring our clubs together and foster new cooperation and friendships between our clubs. Retreats provided an excellent opportunity for me to meet other members of the clubs and exchange ideas and to learn from each other. I have especially enjoyed participating in the FJMC leadership workshops and hosted a number of these during my times as club president. The FJMC is truly one of the bright spots in our conservative movement, and I want to thank its leadership very much for selecting me to receive this very meaningful Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you.
When I got involved with the Seaboard region in the 80s, I didn't think we had a very good region. The way we did business, we didn't have any overall activities to involve all of our clubs. We just had these meetings of executive committee, and we visited synagogues, and then things started to happen. We became a very strong region, and the FJMC started to notice us and said, hey, we got a really good region down there in Seaboard. They're doing a lot of stuff. And a lot of us started to move up in the Federation at this time. When Irv came in as president, I think I installed him. My memory is a little bit, I don't know, my age, but I remember going to his synagogue, his family, and I'm pretty sure that I installed him. And Irv got very involved. He got involved. He was a very, very strong regional president. We had Blue Yarmulkes that he was involved in. He attended a lot of FJMC conventions, and he turned out to be one of our stronger presidents during this renaissance of our region. And I think he was appreciated throughout the FJMC.
Thank you.
very much, Danny and Mark and our current Seaboard president and my good friend Bob Watts and all the other Seaboard leaders. The honor of this Lifetime Achievement Award is a recognition of the good work that all of us have done and continue to seek to do. My family's arrival in Fairfax, Virginia some 25 years ago was a new wonderful stage in our family's life, as well as opening a side of my Jewish life, which I had not previously experienced. When joining Congregation Shalom Tikva and looking to make friends, I came upon the OT Men's Club. As club president a few years later, I would meet our incoming FJMC president, Alan Cahan, at a Seaboard meeting, and the rest is history. After joining the Seaboard board, encouraged by my good friend Norman Sirocco, my predecessor as Seaboard president, I attended conventions. I embraced the opportunities to engage more Jewish men in Jewish activities. In 2001 to 03, I was Seaboard president, and that's when we began our biannual retreat, emulating the success of other regions. Our Blue Yarmulke Man of the Year participation took off, and club growth brought in new members. Our clubs are the most important component of the FJMC, and it's been a privilege to remain active with OT's Men Club. It's been a wonderful year to see our club continue to thrive. Like with any club, there have been brief times when we lost touch with our core and Seaboard, but new leaders will come in and resume our journey forward, including Bob. We can all remain active to help Jewish men stay active in Jewish life. Many thanks and appreciation to my wife of 42 years, Leslie, for indulging me in spending significant time with the club and with Seaboard. And perhaps her reward has been to spend more time with the OT Sisterhood, where she has been outstanding in her service to the synagogue. Thank you all again very much for this award. Very much appreciated.
Well, many thanks to Mark and Danny for organizing this award and the honorees. We really appreciate this, and it's taken Seaboard Region to another level when we can recognize the contribution of people who have stayed involved over the years after they've been club leaders or regional presidents or international presidents. And I've greatly benefited from that and really appreciated the friendship and mentoring from all of the folks here. So again, Mazel Tov on your honors, and I hope to be working with you for years to come. Thank you.
Thanks.
While our honors tonight have been for individuals, the purpose of having a club is for people to work together to make a whole that is greater than the individual parts. The FJMC recognizes the outstanding accomplishments of people working together in clubs through its Quality Club and Torch Awards. The FJMC Quality Club Award is given each year to member clubs who meet criteria developed to encourage them to offer specific types of activities at the local, regional, and international level. The criteria may also be used as a blueprint for club planning for the upcoming year. Here are the clubs that earned the award in 2020. We recognize this has been a hard time for clubs to operate. Historically, the great majority of Seaboard clubs have earned the award, and I urge you to look at the criteria to help you plan for the future. Note that the deadlines for qualifying for the award, the most important being the deadline for submitting the 2021 Quality Club Award, which is May 1st, 2021. Torch Awards are given out every 2 years at convention, and that will continue this year even if the convention is virtual. The FJMC, led by our past regional president Hal Freed as Torch Award co-chair, is urging you to participate in the 2021 awards program. The goal of the Torch Awards is to encourage development of innovative programming and recognize clubs that develop quality programming. The FJMC wants to share information about programs among the clubs that can be used for the future. Maybe you think your programs won't qualify, but you won't know until you try, and there are many categories in which to compete. This year, the FJMC added a new category for programs of excellence produced in the face of the coronavirus. Such programs may be new or an adaptation of an existing program. You can also help Seaboard by submitting an entry, and there are 2 region awards now, one for percentage of clubs participating and the other one for how many awards are won in the region. Here are the deadlines, but the most important one to note is the deadline for submission of April 23rd, 2021, with additional credit for applications submitted prior to March 1st. Information on applying for the awards is on the fjmc.org website, but note that Seaboard has advisors to help you, and so don't let inexperience with applying hold you back. Contact me and I'll get you the help you need. Speaking of Hal Fried, I'd like to remind you that he is our Seaboard 2021 Masim Tovim honoree. The award is the highest recognition a region can give to one of its members. It is usually given to individuals who have worked hard on behalf of the region for many years. Hal was selected by Seaboard board members as he's continuing to serve his community in the FJMC after being region president. As you can see from his co-chairing the Torch Awards, he will be recognized at the 2021 virtual convention in June, and you'll hear more about this as the convention time approaches. And speaking of tributes, we're incredibly thrilled at the turnout this year for your honorees. All the donations you have given go back to the clubs and club members through conventions and retreats and other activities, and we are ready to support in-person events when it becomes possible again. Thanks to all who donated. The donors list is on both the front page of the Blue Yarmulke site and on the Gala site, and you'll be able to also download it from the Gala page, and it will remain accessible for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
Our final group of honorees are from Road of Shalom, Stephen Shapiro.
Hello, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to have the honor of recognizing the Road of Shalom Temple Person of the Year, Mr. Steve Shapiro. Steve served as president of RST after we merged with B'nai Israel. Steve agreed to serve a second term as president to spearhead our purchase and acquisition of our new building located on the JCC campus in Newport News. Thank you, Steve, for your dedication and your commitment and your hard work.
Thanks, Johnny. I'm humbled to be given this award as Road of Shalom Temple's Person of the Year. I've attended several of the celebrations in the past and marveled at the accomplishments of those receiving the awards. I certainly don't consider myself to be in the same class as those who went before me. I am a member of our men's club and try to participate in as many events as I can, my favorite being Men's Club Shabbat, where I have a chance to lead Friday night services and offer Devar Torah. But I suppose my greatest accomplishments have come during my 3 years as president of our congregation, during which time we moved from Hampton to Newport News, Virginia, and constructed our new building on the campus of the JCC. I was chairperson of the design committee, and along with past Blue Yarmulke Persons of the Year recipients Barbara Gordon and Josh David, and a cast of thousands, helped steer the ship as we changed this long-awaited move and construction project from a dream to a reality. I continue to stay very involved in the synagogue, and most recently serving as chairperson of our COVID task force as we try to strike a balance between the spiritual health of our community as well as its physical health. I'm honored to have been selected as Road of Shalom Temple's Person of the Year, and I thank my men's club for bestowing this honor on me. Thank you.
From Shari Tefillah, Ira Kohlmeister.
Hi, I'm Michael Binder, the president of Share Tefillah Men's Club. On behalf of the Men's Club, the Sisterhood, and congregation, it is my honor to introduce Ira Kohlmeister as our Blue Yarmulke MVP. Ira is also our MDLP, that is most dependable and likable person, as the shul's go-to guy for everything technology, which this year more than in any other makes him our MVP in facilitating Sheriff Phila's virtual programs and services.
Well, Mike, thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate that. And again, my name is Ira Kohlmeister, and part of the Shard to Phila Men's Club. And I want to take a moment to thank the Men's Club and the membership of offering me this recognition. It is truly appreciated. You know, the Men's Club prides itself on being a force for helping and being good. And in my way, I'm just striving to continue to promote this legacy of helping others. You know, I really don't see what I'm doing as super special, but if I have a skill that is needed, I'm more than happy to bring it forward and help others. And of course, I want to thank others that have helped me along the way. I have to start out by thanking my parents, my blessed parents of blessed memory, Ruth and Simon. I miss them terribly. And of course, I have to be able to say the help that I get from my two kids, Ian and Seth, really is fantastic. And of course, I have to thank my wonderful wife, Valerie, so much. I would not be able to undertake some of these tasks that I've been asked to do without her love and support. So I have to be able to say at this point, Valerie, I love you and thank you very much for supporting me. And I want to thank the entire Sheriff Phila congregation and membership for bestowing this honor on me this day. Thank you, and I'm wishing everyone that can watch this video a healthier and happier 2021. Take care.
From Shari Tikva, Dan Lyman.
Hi, my name is Pete Halleckman. I'm the president of Share Tikva Men's Club, and our honoree this year is Dan Lehman for Blue Yarmulke Man of the Year. Dan is an amazing individual. He continuously leads Shabbat services for us. He organizes 100% the Men's Club Shabbat services, and he is in charge of our Religious Affairs Committee, which he has done for, I believe, longer than I have been alive. Anyways, Mazel Tov, Dan.
I learned to chant the Shabbat service for my bar mitzvah in New York City. For several years, I learned prayer tunes from other services by listening to the service leaders. In 1968, I joined Arlington Fairfax Jewish Congregation in Virginia, now called Etz Chaim. I led services there using my New York tunes and attended regularly to learn their congregational tunes and the music of visiting cantors. Their cantor taught an adult class for Torah reading. I served one term as vice president for religious affairs and was elected to the congregation board of directors. After I moved to Maryland in 1976, I attended Shari Tikva occasionally and led services there with tunes from New York and Virginia. I learned their tunes and also used them in Virginia. I finally joined Shari Tikva in 1987. Periodically, I visited other congregations in New Jersey and Connecticut when I went to see my family. I learned some of their tunes and brought them to Maryland. For about 30 years, I have been chair of the Religious Affairs Committee, except for 2 years when I was president of the congregation. Since we have no rabbi or cantor, I have arranged service leaders every week and performed as service leader or Torah reader. For the Men's Club, I set up the leaders for the annual Worldwide Wrap and the Men's Club Shabbat services. I am a proud contributor to the enjoyment of religious services in my congregations.
From Shari Torah, Jeffrey Wisnell.
It is with great pleasure, and it is my honor to introduce our Blue Yarmulke recipient on behalf of the Shari Torah Men's Club, Jeffrey Withnell. Jeff Withnell joined the Shari Torah community back in 2012 and immediately jumped in by volunteering as a greeter for the High Holiday services. He continued by being an active participant in many Men's Club and Shari Torah activities, some of which were the Sukkah building and tear down, Yom HaShoah candle delivery, Minyan on demand, and Men's Club Minyan participation in others. When asked to help with a Men's Club or Shari Torah activity, his default answer is always yes. He's organized and continues to run the Empty Nesters Summer Barbecue. And then also in 2017, he became a trustee on the synagogue board and currently runs the ambassador program for the Religious Life Committee. So it is really an honor and our pleasure to award Jeff with this award.
I am totally gobsmacked when they told me I was getting this award, because I did not expect it. I've never been, an officer in the men's club, never been one of the big deals, but I realize the Shari Torah Men's Club and the Shari Torah community have given me an awful lot. They've supported me emotionally through some trying times. They've welcomed me with open arms immediately. And I just feel that it is imperative to give back when you do something like this. So to me, when Shari Torah asks me for something, I do my best to say yes. And that's what you have to do. And I believe that. And it's not only the men's club presidents and so forth that support the men's club, it's also us troopers that are running around doing the stuff and delivering candles and doing all that kind of stuff. And I really appreciate the honor. There's something else I have to do. When I got told about this, Rabbi Steve Glazier was our rabbi, and he made me promise that I would wear my kilt. So let me back up so you can see that I am in fact wearing my kilt. So I fulfilled my promise to Steve Glazier. Oh, and this is the rather nice plaque. So while I can't wear the kilt in person, Rabbi Steve, I've got it on. And I am so grateful to this community. It's been immensely supportive to me and my family. So, and I don't know what else to say, except I should be thanking the community. Thank you. I'm done.
From Har Shalom, Mickey Burstein.
Mickey Bernstein is Congregations Har Shalom's 2020 Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year. Mickey is a mensch. Mickey has done so much for Har Shalom and Men's Club, but takes no credit for it. Mickey loves to lead services, read Torah, and read the Megillah during Purim, and he loves to teach Judaism. Mickey is our Men's Club chairperson for the FJMC Worldwide Wrap. Mickey coordinates the Worldwide Wrap with our religious school to teach the next generation to understand this very important mitzvot. Mickey will always lend a hand in building our synagogue sukkah. It is my honor to present Mickey as Congregation Har Shalom's Blue Person of the Year. Mazel tov, Mickey.
Thank you, Robert. I am overwhelmed that my friends at Har Shalom's Men's Club have honored me as their 2020 Blue Yarmulke Person of the Year. So many others have done so much more for our club and for our shul. I love to lead services and read Torah, read Megillah on Purim, and teach what little Judaism I know, as Robert mentioned. Anybody who's willing to learn, I'm happy to teach. Serving in any capacity within the Chevra Kadisha is doing no more than following in my own father's footsteps. No yichus is required or requested for such simple contributions. Nor should such high honor go to a guy who always has two hands to help, but is happy to follow the footsteps of others, like our president, Robert Sigmund, who lead and who perform such great mitzvot on behalf of our shul and our club communities. Nonetheless, who am I to ignore the collective seichel of my chaverim at Har Shalom? With humility, I accept the honor that is bestowed. Thank you so much.
Thank you for attending the 30th Blue Yarmulke Awards. I really want to thank my team, Vic Cohen, Dan Moldover, Mark Smith, and Richard Yanku for all the work that they've done. I want to thank my mentor, my president, and my right hand and biggest supporter, Bob Watts, for everything that he's done for this program.